she promised to look into it. Asking her was a long shot, but she came through. I was to read for a character named Shane McCutcheon on the curiously titled show Earthlings. Could I get to a fax machine to receive the audition materials? The character of Shane was at a more successful place in her life than I was. Loosely modeled after A-list hairdresser Sally Hershberger, whose clients swarmed to get the Sally shag, Shane was a woman in charge, directing employees and kissing up to clients. To pull this off, I needed to project confidence and authority. I tried to butch it up for the audition, but wanted to steer away from stereotypes. Apparently, the other women auditioning didn't share that concern. There was more flannel plaid in the waiting room than at a Scottish family reunion. 2 days later, I got a message from my music manager. They want to see you again. I was ecstatic. The callback was in front of the casting director and the show's creators, Eileen Chaikin, Kathy Greenberg, and Michelle Abbott. Go Fish director Rose Trochet, who I knew from the New York lesbian scene, was also there. When I finished the audition, the executives huddled for a minute, then told me they wanted to bring me in to test for the network executives. They gave me some direction on what they'd like to see next time and sent me on my way. I didn't know it then, but this was the final step in getting the part. I went through my wardrobe and curated what I thought was the perfect look for a hip, strong, sexy powerhouse hairstylist. To top it off, I put a comb in my back pocket that I could whip out as needed. I was so proud of my prop. My plan was to use it like the Fonz. A comb, I thought. That'll be my thing. That'll be my Shane thing. The elevator soared up to the Showtime floor. When the doors opened, I waded into a pool of Jennies. Did I just foreshadow? I was sizing up the many frail women with long brown hair when an assistant greeted me. Hi, we're so happy to have you. The producers are gathering. We'll bring you in soon. In the meantime, I have your contract if you could just sign. Oh, I said, caught off guard. With a smile, the assistant reminded me that I couldn't audition until the contract, locking in the terms and rate of my acting job, was executed. I grazed through the fat packet of legal jargon, understanding almost nothing and having no reps to call. I flipped to the last page, shrugged my shoulders, and signed my name. As I waited my turn, a drop-dead, gorgeous creature with the plumpest cherry red lips sat down next to me. She looked like Mick Jagger. I thought, well, there's Shane. Then, to psych myself up, I checked to see if she had a prop. She didn't. Maybe I still had a shot? We could hear the Jennies auditioning. Since it was clear that it was just the two of us going up for Shane, I introduced myself to this beautiful stranger whose name was Kate. We made a little small talk, but I was reluctant to get into a long conversation because I was up next and didn't want to lose focus. The network test itself went quickly. The view out of the conference room window was stunning, looking out over the Hollywood Hills. I stood in front of a long oval table with about 20 people sitting behind it staring at me. I did each scene twice, adjusting my performance to notes the executives gave. On the way out, I told Kate the producers were really nice and to break a leg. Then I said goodbye, sure I'd never see her again. After all, only one of us could get the role.
I was in New York City hungry for work. I had fallen into a predictable pattern, shuffling between being in the mix to its not going forward more times than I could count. I was accustomed to the disappointment by then and told myself this was part of paying my dues. Only 4 years deep into trying this professionally, I was painfully aware that rejection was 99% of the job. Then one afternoon in the early summer of 2002, my manager called. Showtime is making a pilot called Earthlings. It's not what you think it is. Is it science fiction? I instantly imagined tight onesie spacesuits, lots of expositional dialogue with million-dollar words all said with a straight face. The one major network show that I'd been on at that point was the WB's Dawson's Creek spinoff, Young Americans. Only 8 episodes had aired before Young Americans was shelved. Following that, there were some random indie films that don't need to be named, a music video, a Law & Order episode, every New York actor's rite of passage, and some off, not even close to Broadway theater in and around New York. To feel somewhat creative during the lulls, I would hang out with my other actor friends, getting stoned and making improvised home movies in our apartments and around our neighborhoods just to play different characters. regardless of how.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.